The video today is sparked by my natural hair that I just got finished washing. And as I was sitting under the dryer, I was thinking about when I first went natural and how that experience has shaped me today. So I'm going to be talking about the 3 ways that going natural has made me a better entrepreneur, a better speaker, a better corporate trainer, all the things. And through this, I hope that you can borrow some of the skill sets, some of the experiences that I've been able to develop and have it in your own journey, or even just look back at how the things you've experienced, even though they seem very small, how they ultimately impact your ability to show up and do the things that you are called to do today. So I went natural in high school. I believe it was the year before my junior year. Yeah, is when I went natural. I think it was the summer before my junior year. I had a job at a water park, and I can remember that was around the same time that I did it. I didn't have like friends that were natural around me. And if I did, it wasn't something that we talked about, because when I did it, the first place I went to was YouTube. And I was learning all the things, how the hair care tips, the styles, all the things. There was actually this one girl that I followed called Sophia. I think her name was Sophia. Her videos are still up. I actually checked it out like maybe a few months ago last year, just to see those videos again, because I used to watch her constantly. She was the one who showed me about like apple cider vinegar rinses, and she did like this really good oil treatment before washing her hair, and it made it like super soft. I was doing that a few times. It actually worked for me. Like, I was really in this thing. When I went natural, I did not look back. I did not consider getting a relaxer again. I was all into this whole natural thing, right? So I'm going in, looking at all the styles, doing all the things. Now, naturally, you see this type of hair that I have. So it's not wash and go nowhere, right? It's not jump out these beautiful, just effortless curls. Now, I do got a few in the back that was popping up. I know you can't really see them, but they was kind of doing a little something right here, right? We giving that. But for the most part, I have to actually style it. I didn't want to miss my video today. So I said, we're going to put some pins in it and make it look decent. Put some earrings on. I put my little ministry jacket on, and we were going to make it work for this video. But it has to be, styled in order for it to look a certain way. So I kept looking into these videos and learning it. And as I would try different styles, I can remember vividly people just making little comments. Oh, what is this style that you're doing? I can remember even having a little love interest at the time tease me about my hair and stuff like that. So I didn't have, excuse me, am I going to keep that in the video? We'll see. I didn't have people who were cheering me on, so to speak. I was really blazing this path on my own, which is totally on brand for me. I'm always getting into something that I feel called to, or that I feel like this is what I want to do. And it doesn't matter if I see other people doing it or not. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stick through it. And even if I look crazy in the process, so be it. So went on this journey. And like I said, never looked back. Started getting more creative. Started learning how to work with my hair as it is. Started learning how to master different styles. And as I am doing more with my natural hair today, I'm like remembering all the Bantu knots and stuff that I used to do. And these lessons are what popped up for me during it. First of all, that experience was another part of my life that took courage. I didn't see people doing this around me. I didn't have people supporting me. I literally had a girl on YouTube that I was watching to get these styles and to figure out what to do with my hair at its natural state. in business, that serves me well because you have to have courage to put offers out there. You have to have courage to get no's, even when you think it should all just go without a hitch. You have to have that courage to step into rooms, even though you feel like you're the least qualified person. Like I felt back when I first started my career and I was going into these rooms, negotiating these 6-figure deals and coming in and selling to people who could have been, my parents at the time. And I'm talking about technology solutions that would be a fit for them. And they've got other salespeople who are, 40s and 50s and know a lot more than me, but I'm in there to win their business. I don't often look at that as powerfully as I should, because in full transparency, one of the things that I navigate through is just going on to the next thing. Oh, that was just what I did. On to the next, on to the next, on to the next, and just keep going, right? But as I was sitting under the dryer, and as I'm even talking to you all now, it's like really solidifying. I showed up with that courage. I won those accounts. I stepped into those rooms. Me and God stepped into those spaces and won those opportunities. And I don't take those things lightly, and it shouldn't just be on to the next. It took courage. So that's the first thing. The second piece that it taught me was resilience. Again, it didn't all work out. I had some days where my hair was not looking the way that I wanted to look, but I had to continue on. I had to take the laughs, the stares, the what's she doing, all of that. I had to take it and just continue to stay in the process, to stay in it. I didn't jump back to relaxer, because for me, one thing that I've learned about myself is when I get decided on something, like really decided on something, I can cut it off just like that. Like it wasn't even there. Relaxer, I can immediately just be like, I don't even identify as a person who does that anymore. I've done it with relationships, unfortunately, or fortunately. I would say fortunately, because clearly they weren't meant to work out. But it's like, if we're done, we're done. You know what I'm saying? I have had scenarios where, you entertain a little bit, but it's like, we're not coming back together. You know what I'm saying? It's done. We're detached. So like the relaxer thing was just like, it's done. So I'm on this other side. I'm on this other path. I just have to figure it out. And that resilience now shows up as similar to the last thing about courage. Being willing to come back again, being willing to stay in it, being willing to look crazy for what you desire for yourself. In these rooms, in these conversations, sometimes they did not all go well. I did not win every single deal. I did not have a great customer meeting every single time that I scheduled an on-site meeting. I did not have, all quarters where I hit my number even, right? All these things were situations that I had to navigate through. But I'm here, I'm in it. I'm going to master this one way or another. That's the way that my mind starts to look at things when I'm really into something. So even today as a business owner, it's the same thing. There are ups and downs all the time. There's so much to navigate. There's so much to filter through. There's so much that is out of our control. In the sense of, customers and political and all these things that are happening, right? It can be difficult to stay in it. It can look like, this is looking good over here, or this is looking good over there, right? It can be easy to feel that way. And I just have to get reminded and grounded that this is not a nice to have. This isn't something that I'm doing just because it was popular or I saw other people doing it, because I didn't, right? I saw people doing things when I started to get into the online world. But before that, I didn't have entrepreneurs around me. When I started my business, I didn't know anything about online coaches or online business at all. So that goes to show this was a choice, I say made by me, but really it was a part of my design. That's what I have to remember and stay grounded to, even when it gets difficult. And that's how my resilience shows up for me. So whether I'm sending an email, and to be clear, I have the same thoughts that many of you may be having when you send these emails, or even if you're thinking about it. Well, what if they don't respond? And what if they don't this? And what if they don't that? I actually have a little hack that I've been working through to clear that mental, to move through that mental chatter and still get what needs to get done. So maybe that'll be my next video tomorrow. But the ability to be able to still stay in it, to still be resilient, even if you get knocked down 99 times. I'm coming back for that last time because I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. They can tell me 100 no's. All I need is 1 or 2 yeses, and I'm good. There was this post today that a young lady made talking about what it really takes to be successful as a business owner in general, you know, as a speaker, as a corporate trainer, all these things with so much shifting. It's not just put an offer out there or send one email and you're in, right? And I agreed with her on that because it does take a level of grit to be able to do this. And I think sometimes the online world makes it seem like it's magic and you're just going to pop up and get offers. Even in the B2C space, it's not just magic. It's not put up a post today and get a client tomorrow. That's not it. And I can safely say that with close to a few days. Well, technically I am in my 5th year of business from when I established my company, and then I launched a month later. But either way, it's not that. But that's why this is not for people who just want the end result. This is a marathon. It is not just a 20-second, 100-meter, dash for a check. And I think when it's presented that way, or when we're working with people who understand that, then the process, gets to be a bit more appreciated. I'm not going to say easier, just appreciated. Because we know it's no overnight success. It takes work. It takes being in the game and staying in the pocket. So when she posted that, it was a great conversation that we were able to have in the comments about, it's hard to use these marketing messages that attract people when you know that in all reality, any level, I would just say it's not even about these time periods or what's going on now, because there's always ebbs and flows. There's always pops and always things going on. But any longevity in business is not just about one-hit wonders. Yes, somebody can help you make, $10,000, $30,000 a month, or whatever the case may be. But when the tide shifts, if you don't have the skills, this is what we talked about in the post too. If you don't have the skills to be able to pivot, if you don't have the patience or the resilience to stay in the game, you're losing. And I can be totally transparent and say, like, I had to walk through that. I had to walk through not just building something that can pop, for the time being. But building something that is long lasting is actually going to take time. Yes, you do need to make money, but you also have to build a real business. So that resilience piece, whether it is me doing stuff in the corporate space or even the work that I'm doing with entrepreneurs and helping supporting them in this area, that level of resilience is the thing that keeps me in the game. And one of the instances was definitely on this natural hair journey. The last part that I'll say is the creativity. Everything is not always every style didn't work out. Every style did not come out exactly how Sophia's did or whatever girls I was watching at that time. And I had to learn how to make what I had work for me. Woo! That's the lesson on the song. I had to learn to take what I have and make it work for me. Baby, that's a business lesson in itself for me right now. I have to, there's strategies, there are tips, there's processes, there's ways of doing things, just like they showed me the different ways of doing the hair, right? And it came out beautifully for them because they're using the process that works for them. Same thing in business. We get these trainings or these courses or we work with these people. And yes, the methodology is great. They've developed it. And it worked for them. And it also works for other people. We're not saying, it doesn't do that. And same thing with the hair stuff. And it works for other people. But as a person who, I wouldn't say has a unique situation, I would just say perhaps maybe my reality doesn't always mirror the reality of the person that's creating that system or process, right? Sometimes I've found that, right? Well, what if you're this and what if you're that? And I have to navigate it in a way that's positive for me, because it shouldn't be about making myself a special snowflake and saying, oh, well, this doesn't work for me and they're so this and they're popular and they're this. I have to like reel myself in on that. Without all of that noise, just looking at the bare bones of the situation, we have to learn how to adapt and take things to fit the design that God has for us, the roles and responsibilities that God has for us, the way in which he wants us to steward a thing. Oof. The way in which what he wants to get done through us and the way he's designed us to do it. That's a hard thing, because it can feel like you're beating your head against the wall to make a thing work a certain way. And that continued push and that struggle and that force, it's just like, why won't this work? And until you finally see, well, perhaps this isn't the design or there's another way, it just continues to feel like a struggle. So creativity for me has been valuable because it's allowed me to take what I had and figure out what is the best way for me to handle this. What is the best way for me to steward this assignment? What is the best way for me to make this hair work in a way that's going to look well? In my business, what is the best offer? What is the best way to show up? What is the best way that I need to present myself in the way that I'm designed? I'm designed in two ways. Yes, I have a corporate skill set and I can continue to sell it myself and do that. And I navigate through that. But I also recognize that throughout my career, I've done that, right? I've mastered those skill sets. And I believe that I was called to share those things with other people, to break off some of these fears, some of these insecurities that keep companies, organizations from experiencing what these individuals have to offer. That's an assignment. So I have to learn how to creatively balance both. I have to learn how to creatively serve, use my design, use my experience, not to just be one track, not to just put it into whatever box one person thinks it should be, but to be my unique amalgamation of all the things that I've experienced and learned to be a blessing to other people. So that creativity may look like setting up deals in a certain way. That creativity may look like making connections in a way that most people wouldn't be willing to do. That creativity may be looking like developing speaking topics. That creativity may be looking like doing daily YouTube videos. Whatever it is, it's my design to be a blessing to those who are assigned to me. So that is what my natural hair and being natural for 15 or 16 years at this point showed up for me today, and other instances in my life that were the same. So when I walk into rooms, when I'm negotiating these opportunities, when I'm building new offers, when I'm building out loud, the same young girl who decided to go natural is the one who's showing up for me in those spaces saying, you got this. This is what you do. This is who you are. Be it. Be about it. Go do it. All right. It looks like my camera is dying. It looks like this phone is okay. Wait, maybe it popped up. All right. So I pray this was a blessing to you. And let's chat in the comments, whether for you it's natural hair or whatever it is that you have gone through that's led you to be where you are today. And if you took anything away from the 3 things that I shared that served me in every part of what I'm doing in my work, in my world, I'd love to chat about it. And of course, you could check the description for all the things on how you can get connected with me. See you on the next one.